What's happening, con folks out there? Broadcasting live to you and yours. It's your boy, Justin Reed, aka Too Tall for You Fool, and welcome to episode 91 of the Game & Watch podcast. And we're almost at episode 100. Almost there,
And
but not
almost
quite.
there.
Almost there. With me today, I got Mark, aka Mr. Madness, back again. How you doing, Mark?
What's up? Good to be here. It's been a while, I know. But sometimes things just get a little crazy, but it's good. It's all good. See, I'm here because there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, definitely. There is a lot to talk about today. And we're going to dip right into that right now. Well, not right now. Well, a bit of icebreaker, all that good stuff. But first and foremost, before we continue, just thank you for all you listeners that you can watch us on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook Live, all that good stuff. And if you are watching, we're available on all listening platforms wherever you get your podcasts. So definitely check us out on there. If you want to email the show, gamingwatchpodcast@gmail.com. If you have questions, we'll have answers. And then if you want to donate to the show, we have a Patreon. You can definitely check that out. And if you want our personal links to all our bios, all that good stuff, along with any links from the articles that we use today for the show, it will all be in the show notes. So, and I believe that's it. So without any further ado, we're going to be talking about Summer Game Fest thus far and what to look forward to next week. But before we get into all that and the gaming news call outs, just how you been, Mark? I know you've had stuff been going on, but how you been? How's life treating you?
I'm hyped. It's all good. Summertime, man. Can't be down during the summer, right? Days are longer.
Yeah,
I don't got to worry about getting another kid out to school. Things like that.
The days are so much longer. Yeah.
June is a good time to be a video game fan. That's when E3 is.
Yeah, well, that's when E3 was. But...
in the future, I'm sure it'll try to come back. But
I'm sure it will.
June is it's 6 months to Christmas. You want to get hyped for that now, for all the stuff that's about to come out for this Christmas and potentially next Christmas. So y'all want to feel hyped. I want to feel hyped, and I do feel hyped now. Couple games, yeah.
So I know. Yeah, well, yeah, June. I mean, it's a video game month, and yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But as for me, I've been doing good. I think the days have been so extended to the point where it's like 5:30 and the sun's like already shining into my face. It's just like, damn, man, like I want the nights to be longer again, so I could just sleep in a little bit more.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I'm at my kid's at the age where he's finally letting me sleep in and not bother me in the morning, so I'm getting lucky there. But
my kid doesn't do that yet.
Yeah, I know you probably got another 2 years or so.
Yeah, she's not at the. Well, sometimes she'll sleep in if she goes to bed like real late, but that's
no. My kid, he'll go to bed at 11 o'clock. He's still up at 6:30, like ready to go.
Yeah, that's more than half the time. Usually, like she had like a bad night, like the night before or something, and But I mean, we're getting there. She's almost at the age where she'll start sleeping in herself, and when she starts sleeping in herself, that's when you got it made.
Yeah, I know. except for you where you like I come downstairs and I'm like, how much food did you eat while I was sleeping?
Yeah, just yeah, we have to put a lock on our fridge, so it's
I know, I know, I'm there. It just doesn't stop. That ADHD, man. Oh, anyway, what are you playing? What are you playing?
what am I playing? I am playing Wild Guns Reloaded. I got that on the Switch, and it's a fun game. Um, it's just so fun. It was so hard back in the day for the Super NES or whatever, but I beat it finally. I did a video on it actually. I'll probably put it up soon. But it's a really fun game. Has some good music. It's just extremely hard. Like I had to beat it like with infinite lives and all that stuff. So oh, there's some gameplay right there. It's not mine, but just
No, it's not yours, but it's the general idea. But yeah, I
yeah,
play. I remember playing this on Super Nintendo, and it was in the arcade too. It's a heck of a fun game, and I don't know why it never really made more of them.
yeah. It's yeah. I mean, it was a hit. I mean, I don't know what it was with the developer or whatnot. And then they also had that other one too that I recently got. Ninja Saviors, which was called Ninja Warriors back in the day. That was like another game they remixed. But I mean, there are differences between this
Well,
one and
with
the Super.
the it's a isn't it?
That's not Konami. It's
Oh, it's
Natsume
Natsume. That's right.
or Natsume.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I'm thinking Sunset Riders.
Sunset
That
Rider.
was
Yeah,
the Konami.
yeah. Don't get the yeah. Sunset Riders was actually real
But
fun
still,
though.
another great Western game. There's not enough Western games out there, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, this is weird.
There
This is
needs to
like
be more. It's like steampunk Western, right?
steampunk.
That's
What's
what it
yeah,
is. It's like Wild Wild
yeah.
West before Wild Wild West, and we don't talk
Well,
about
yeah,
that movie.
yeah. Wild Wild West. It's the American West meets alien robots. I guess. I don't
Yeah,
know. Yeah, but it's
steampunk Western. That's what it is.
yeah, yeah, but yeah, I've been playing that. And then just another game I've been playing is Soldiers, and that recently came out for PC and the Switch. I got it a few weeks ago actually, and it's a fun game. Just for the most part, Metroidvania. I'm still like in
Yeah,
the first dungeon, and I think if you like Metroidvania games, I think you would really appreciate this one as well, Mark. But I
I do
mean,
love Metro, and I never heard of it. I never heard of it until you brought it up, and when you said soldiers,
uh-huh.
I was like, it definitely doesn't spell like how you think it spells.
No, no.
It
Soldiers.
looks, it looks, it looks right up my alley. Where is it?
Hmm.
I don't really play too much on my Switch, so I probably will wait for an Xbox.
Well,
But
I
yeah,
mean, you should.
looks like this great.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good game. So yeah, I'm trying to just dig more deep into it. I'll probably just play some more after we get off this podcast because I want to get more into the dungeon and everything. It's a nice good old maze, and I'm just gonna take my time with
It
it.
reminds me a lot of The Messenger. Did you ever play The Messenger?
Yeah, I have it on my PS4, PS5. So yeah, I haven't beat
Have
it
you have
yet.
you played it? Oh
Yeah,
man, that is
yeah,
so good for
yeah,
a
yeah.
Metroid, and the music is just killer in that one. Is the music any good? That's what really makes or breaks a lot of these 2D games.
Hmm.
Is if the music is good.
Yeah, well, the previous game we were talking about Wild Guns, that actually has some pretty decent music. So
Oh
I
yeah, it's got
mean,
some killer music.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, video game music's always good. Well, you and I both, for those of you listening or watching, we have the Game and Watch official playlist. So definitely check it out. I'll probably drop it in the show notes for this episode,
Yeah,
since we love us some video game music.
there's a lot of things I want to put on there that aren't on Spotify.
Oh yes, a
But
ton.
I do like some real niche soundtracks. So, like my gaming days in the old school retro soundtracks were not always the most popular things, but I'm surprised like Nintendo won't officially release a lot of those tracks. People would absolutely buy them.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was actually reading an article about that like a few weeks ago. Actually, I think I actually dropped it in the Discord. It's kind of a shame how they won't put like their music titles up on Apple Music or Spotify or wherever you stream or download your music from, because it's just, I don't know, like if they, it's just another missed Nintendo opportunity if you ask me, and it's just like, come on guys,
Right. And
really?
it's one of those things. Like, don't you like money? Don't you want money?
They must not. I mean, there's
I
like a
guess
lot of
apparently they don't.
there's a lot of remixed tracks on there, but I mean, like if Capcom can release a lot of their Mega Man, Street Fighter, all that stuff, like if I mean, it's all available on Spotify. Like, why can't Nintendo do it? Same thing with Sega.
Right.
Like, it's
You,
ridiculous. Like,
if Nintendo can put it on vinyl and had like this real nice vinyl and like made it Super Nintendo-y and made it $200, I guarantee you would buy that.
yeah,
It could be like a
it's
10 vinyl set. People would buy the crap out of that.
yeah. I just
It
don't
would look
understand
nice
it.
if you framed it up on
Mm.
the wall too, probably.
Yeah,
I don't.
yeah. It's just
I'm
another missed
playing what I've
opportunity.
been. Right. I am playing. I've been for now, and that is MLB Show. Uh, kind of slowed down on it a couple weeks ago because the event that was going on was not something I was very into. The reward stuff, I was like, I don't need to do it because they have like like the Madden Ultimate Team. They have their version of that, so the rewards for a 2 week span were not that great. So I bounced out, but they just did a new month-long event for June, and I am back in. I am playing it hardcore again just to try to get all the rewards, all the extra cards and limited cards and things like that, just to build the best possible team. That's where I am on that now. But it's something I can passively play. You pick it up and do a challenge or two, and then be done. So I kind of like that right now. I'm not into anything too story heavy. Assassin's Creed Origins will play when I am ready to jump into something with a story.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know for me, yeah, I actually got Assassin's Creed Origins also. It's just sitting in my backlog. Recently got it actually. A friend of mine actually got me the books. What is it? The Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla. So I already have the game Valhalla. So I'm like, let me just go out and get the game. So I got Origins and Odyssey, and right now they're just sitting in my backlog. I'm like, oh yeah, if I'm ready for a good adventure, maybe sometime this summer before Saints Row comes out, I'll dip into
Right.
those.
I
But
mean, it just
we'll
dropped. It
see.
dropped on Game Pass, and I love Game Pass, so I downloaded it. I've
Yeah.
played Origins. I played it when it first came out, and I was like, it wasn't. It didn't hit the spot for me at that time. So I didn't really. I traded it back in, or I think I returned. I bought it used. I don't remember what I did with it, but I didn't have it, and I just like, you know what? I'm not gonna delve into this. So I didn't really give it too much of a chance. But now I'm ready to dive back into it.
You're ready to
We'll
dive
see.
back in. Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, so I mean, I know for me, it's just a matter of if I have the time, and right now, I just don't have time for like a big adventure like that. I'm actually kind of worried when Saints Row comes out if I'll actually have time for it. But
I
you
mean,
know,
the kid will be back in school right around that
yeah,
time,
yeah.
right? I
So
mean,
yeah. She starts school in early August, so I should be good. I should be good. That I can definitely get.
did you download the Boss Factory yet?
We're gonna get more into that, but yes, I did. Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're definitely gonna deep dive into that along with a bunch of other things that was announced. But first, let's talk about something we probably shouldn't spend more than 10 minutes. No, not even 10, like 3 minutes on, and that's Intellivision and the Intellivision Amico.
I feel
And
like we have a quota to talk about this at least once a month. At least once a month, somebody talks about and for something that doesn't exist, it gets talked about an awful lot. It doesn't
it,
exist. There's no way.
yeah. Well, according to Phil Adams, CEO of Intellivision, he posted a message to the customers who are still expecting to get shipments of the company's Amico game console that doesn't. We really haven't seen anything on it, but he's saying that our resources are focused on engineering and testing to ensure we have a quality system, as we cannot succeed by producing anything less. He took over for CEO Tommy Tallarico. I guess he took some time off for an alien family member, I guess, according to this article. I'll have it in the show notes. And he's also saying that many people in the gaming community have embraced us because of our family focus and the fact that all our games, including retro titles, are adapted for group play. While Amico's broad catalog will continue to include retro titles, our mission has been and remains cross generational in home family entertainment. I'm part of the retro gaming community, and I don't embrace this thing.
There's nobody that is embracing this thing. Who is
Yeah,
embracing this thing? People that have been on Akoma since 1983?
yeah, it's I don't know, man. I mean, it looked. I mean, when you first see it, like the preview or what they're trying to produce in the beginning, it looked promising. Not that I was gonna buy it anyway, but it's just. I mean, they say they weren't gonna do crowdfunding, but they do crowdfunding, and it's like, yeah, you can't.
I just don't know how you got funding for something like that in the first place. Who cares about
Yeah,
in television?
yeah, it's I mean, yeah, they got. Yeah, you look at it, it's a lot of guys donated like a lot of money to it. I mean, I know if I donated some money, I would want my money back because this is a
Right.
product I would not endorse or I'd recommend anyone endorsing. It's
I don't think
yeah, it's
anybody's like, yeah, I loved my Intellivision. Nobody really
yeah,
says anything like that. They couldn't
yeah,
have sold that many. I feel like ColecoVision was bigger, but I wasn't
yeah,
alive during those ages, so
yeah.
I don't really know.
I mean, the only thing that I would probably play before, with the exception of arcades, of course, that before I was alive was probably the Atari 2600 and 5200. That's about it. And like anything else, in my opinion, was just just before my time, and I'm not trying to be like a hater or anything like that, but it's just like some of those titles, like like even like with the Atari games, it's just a little more. The box art looks better than the game itself. Now that's a problem.
Yeah, I don't know. Eh, Nobody's really in like it's either Atari or nobody cares. There was Magnavox and a television. Yeah, they had a couple fans, but it's like maybe in the same way like Neo Geo in the 90s. Like, yeah, there were a couple fans, but nobody's like, yeah, I want a although Neo Geo thing like that would probably be cool. Um, the whole thing with this company is it just seems so scummy, so terrible. And now they're trying to sell you something that at the end of the day probably has $20 worth of components in it for $200.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Well, yeah, we've already talked our piece with this. I don't want to go any further with this. It's just, yeah, yeah. We'll see if this thing ever makes it, but it keeps somehow coming on the headline news. So for video games anyway. Anyway, Brad Buxer reconfirms Michael Jackson's involvement with Sonic 3 soundtrack. So if you were ever wondering if the King of Pop actually has something to do with Sonic 3, come on. I mean, he had his own game that was published by Sega, which
I mean, didn't
which
we
to this day,
confirm this like years ago?
yeah. Well, I think it
We had
was
to
kind of,
reconfirm.
yeah. Well, I think it was kind of like under wraps. Like Sega, I think just didn't want to say anything, especially after he died. How his estate was, from what I heard, was kind of a mess. But I'm a little surprised that those old that Moonwalker title hasn't come out on any of those Sega compilations yet since he's passed. But
Well, let's just controversial.
I
Also,
guess,
the Genesis one is not nearly as good as the arcade version. Now, the
yeah,
arcade version was awesome.
the arcade I heard was much better.
The Genesis
Yeah,
one, not so much. And also, I bet you it has a lot to do with the music licenses because that
oh
game
yeah, in
is
that game, oh
full
yeah,
of actual Michael
yeah,
Jackson music, and nobody wants to go down that route. But it's not worth it. That's what it
yeah,
is.
yeah. Especially in this day and age, just copyright
Music
strikes, all that
rights,
stuff. So,
music rights are so complicated because nobody thought that we'd still be playing these games 10, 20 years down the line. So they
yeah,
only got these rights for X amount of years. Like, oh yeah, nobody's going to be playing Vice City in 2019 on their Steam,
Yeah.
on Steam, but they've updated it and taken music out of it. To
Yeah.
me,
So
it's like when you want to have the music in, I feel like it increases sales, right?
yeah, I mean, it definitely does. But according to this article, it looks like Bookser talks about Sonic 3 when it came up in a question and discussed Michael Jackson's involvement with the music. And he's suggesting that MJ was a bit more hands off with the process. Pretty much, he says, with Stranger in Moscow, Michael Jackson calls me at 10:30 in the morning. I go knock on his door, and I had under my arm a cassette player. I'd been doing all the Sega Sonic the Hedgehog cues because the way Michael Jackson works is he'll tell Sega they'll do it, and then he says, "Brad, you do it right." So I think we did one cue together with Michael Jackson, one, and the rest I had to do myself. So pretty much he's saying that he did more of the music than what Michael Jackson did, but because Michael Jackson was involved, just
And that's a
and,
weird thing. Like
yeah,
even if he didn't do if he did it or didn't do it, they think releasing the music is going to be controversial. Like I don't really think people care.
yeah.
It may it
So
may hit it may hit news headlines for a day and then go. It's going to go away. Nobody cares.
yeah. Well, it looks like it's been Stranger in Moscow. It's been linked closely with Sonic 3 in game at the in game credits. He also did work on the Ice Cap Zone and Carnival Night Zone for Sonic 3. Um, and then also a little note here: the former with an unreleased Jetson song, that latter with Michael Jackson song Jam. So I guess you can say that like a lot of songs that have come out, resembles what was in Sonic 3. It looks like they got away with a lot back then, but I guess in more news with this, I guess Sonic 3 and Knuckles isn't going to have the original music in the game, so I'm sure you've heard about that. So,
I did, but I'm honestly, if it, I, it's not memorable to me. So if they changed it, me, would not know
mhm.
any difference. I'm
Yeah, I
sure
didn't have
other
a.
people
mm,
would, but not me.
Yeah, I didn't have a Genesis growing up. I would mainly play at my cousin's house or like a friend's house, like before school or something like that. But so really like playing
I
Sonic 3.
I had a Super Nintendo. My
Yeah, I was
friend
a
had a
Super Nintendo
Genesis,
kid. Yeah, so
and like you'd go over and honestly, mostly we would play Mortal Kombat because it had the blood. That's
yeah.
that's
Even
what
though
we
the Super
mostly
NES,
played.
yeah, even though the Super NES version did look better, yeah, the Genesis version had the
Had
blood,
blood.
and that's what everyone wanted to see. But
Abacab. ABACABB. I still remember the
yeah.
code.
Oh wow, dang, that's crazy. All right,
Weird
but
stuff
anyway,
sticks in
so
my brain.
yeah, but if you are going to get the Sonic Origins, first, if you are going to get it, once again, like I said on last week's episode, get the digital deluxe. Don't get the base, and then just know that it won't be the original Sonic 3 music. So, all right. Anyway, moving on. Xbox is allowing devs to add their own demos to Game Pass and get paid for it. Um,
See, that's
you're a
that's
big
what
Game
people
Pass
weren't.
guy.
Were, yeah, but see, that's what people weren't understanding at first. They'd be like, "We've had game demos before, whatever." So, but players they don't want to do game demos anymore because they don't make any money from it. They lose money probably from having game demos. But if now they're going to put it out there and allow them to get paid, then they probably will put a demo out there.
Well, I mean, I think it's good. I mean, especially for like those indie developers who, this is probably the only way they're going to get noticed. I mean, I just say why not? Just
Right. If you don't want to put
definitely
the
let them
whole
do it.
game on Game Pass, but a demo for game, sure, you don't want to put the whole game, fine. But here's a demo to at least play because there are games out there that I'm very on the fence about. I'm playing, but if they did have a demo, I probably would be more inclined to give them my money. But I can understand like it's either hit or miss. Either you're gonna buy it or you're not. So why even risk it? If I want to play it, I have to buy it. That's like that's the proposition there. But if they're gonna get paid to do it, I can see a lot of indie devs doing it.
All right, yeah, definitely. I mean, if it's a good thing for them, if they can benefit, later on, if people go out and buy their game digitally or physically, if they do have a physical copy, if it can only help them, I'm all for it. But I,
I
I think
I
it's awesome.
I think if it takes off, you'll see less games on Game Pass. Although I don't know what
Mm,
the revenue, I don't know what the revenue share for a Game Pass thing is. So for an indie game that drops, or even a major title, like what they obviously have to get paid for each time it gets downloaded and or played. So I don't know what the revenue share there is like. It's got to be pretty good, otherwise they wouldn't be putting games on there.
yeah, it has to be. But yeah, like I said, it should only be a good thing. But I mean, some of them, just if they take input from the fans, like, hey, this game sucks, like with the based on the demo, then obviously they may have some more work to do. I mean, unless it's already a finished product and they're just demoing the game, then
Right. Well,
that's a
that's
different
another
story.
thing. Like the demo for a game that's not out yet, then we run into early access. Is it ready to release? There's so much up in the air with that story right now. But a game that's coming out soon, you want to increase the hype. Yeah, a demo will do that. I remember back in the day, demos absolutely did that.
Yeah.
You had a whole magazine for that. You had the Xbox or the PlayStation magazines that came with a whole demo disc.
All right. Yeah, definitely, definitely. All right. More Xbox news.
I love Xbox news. Let's talk about all Xbox.
I knew you'd be happy with this episode. Xbox Cloud Gaming to let you stream games you own, even if they're not in Game Pass. I think this is a good thing. They just gotta improve the cloud gaming. I'm still not 100% sold on cloud gaming yet. That's just me. But I
I'm
mean,
not either, but it could just be my connection. I know that I have played PlayStation Now stuff that actually streamed pretty well on my PC, but
hmm
the Xbox always seems to have a little bit of a slowdown, and maybe it's just the type of games that I'm playing. Um, really detrimental to
m-
playing those games.
me personally, I wouldn't play any like multiplayer games that require like online, like if
A lot of
like
people do though. That's a
yeah.
lot of one of the big things is because you can cloud stream Fortnite, and apparently a lot of people stream the heck out of Fortnite. I don't know why you would want to do that, but a lot of people do.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, yeah, I would only do it for like single player based games or even something like two player, something locally, but I wouldn't do it like something that you want to play online with your friend through xCloud streaming. Yeah, I mean that's just me. I'm not sold on it yet on the Xbox side or PlayStation side, or well, I don't think anyone's sold on it from the Nintendo side. If you're, streaming a game like what was that game they did? Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy for the Switch being like no.
Yeah, well, I mean that's different. I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to use it more. And my computer obviously is not really the best um for probably even doing anything at all. Although they did say they're going to add improvements to playing games in the Edge browser as well. They really want you to use Edge,
Yeah.
and that could be a game changer as well.
Well, Edge has definitely gotten a lot better from when it first launched. I mean, I'll be real with you. When Edge first launched, I was still using Internet Explorer.
I mean,
But
I'm a Google Chrome guy. It eats
yeah,
memory though. I mean, it
yeah,
sucks it dry. The
yeah.
Edge browser on the Xbox isn't. You can play like emulation games on it.
hmm
You can even stream Stadia games through it. Was it no GeForce Now
yeah.
through the browser? I feel on my Series X it's great. On my Xbox One X, I feel like it's actually gotten worse recently. Although I think my Xbox One X is slowly dying.
Oh, you think so? All right. Well,
It's been real funky lately. It keeps losing sync to my controllers and won't let me resync until I hard reboot it.
oh
I
wow.
think I,
Yeah,
I think it's starting to die.
yeah. I think
Pour one out.
yeah, I think my Xbox One S is pretty good. I mean, just the newer you can use the newer controllers for it, and I have a wired controller that I use for it that when I feel like it.
Oh,
But I
that's
mean,
another thing I've seen. somehow there's something up with the Xbox Series X controllers that don't respond well to hooking it into a PC
Hmm.
for lag. And
Okay.
it's like a known glitch out there. So maybe if it's hardwired, it might be a little bit better if you're using a Series X controller. A lot of people were complaining about it in baseball because
Oh.
it's got in baseball you really need, if you want to get a perfect hit, you got to be right on time, and it's just so hard to get that timing right on it. And people are like, they hardwire and it works, and that's just for even on their console too,
Hmm.
which is crazy to me that the wireless is worse. But weirder things have happened.
Yeah. All right. More Xbox news. Xbox Cloud Gaming is coming to Samsung 2022 TVs. So I guess
I
I
guess
was
you don't
watching
need a
a
stick.
yeah. I guess yeah. The stick. I mean, just get a Samsung TV. I mean, it works for me. I mean, I have a Samsung, but it's not a 2022. I actually have two of them. If I do get another one, I guess. But even
That
then,
could
still,
it could change some people's minds. Like if you're gonna add a TV in an area, in an unused part of the house, like yeah, maybe it's worth spending the extra couple bucks on a Samsung for the cloud gaming than it is on like a Roku or other type of
yeah.
TV.
Yeah, I would definitely do Samsung. And well, the best time to get TVs, we all know, is around Super Bowl time.
Yeah, and
At
I've
least
got
at
so many, or
Costco
Black
anyway.
Friday, or Black
Yeah, Black Friday
Friday.
also. Yeah.
It
So I
really
mean,
depends.
mm,
Looking for. I got a 65-inch TV. I've got a Samsung. It's an old smart TV. It's terrible. The smart TV that said the old Samsung one I have is awful. It's like from 2016 though. It's the
mm.
slowest thing you could ever use. It's like
uh,
it'd be faster to drive to like a Blockbuster that doesn't exist anymore than to have Netflix load on that thing.
well, so that's pretty bad. Well, hopefully you use just a Fire Stick, right? With
I have
that, if
yeah, I
it's so
have
slow.
Fire Sticks all over the house, but that
Yeah.
TV is where the Xbox is actually hooked into my
Okay.
Xbox One X that I still have. But yeah, you can play. See, the thing with Fortnite, and they brought it up in this article, is that you can play for free on cloud gaming without a subscription. You don't even need to have a Game Pass subscription.
Oh, yeah,
That
that's crazy.
that is a big deal. So you'll need, you can use a controller, any controller with Bluetooth. It'll let you play. Imagine playing Fortnite cloud gaming on Xbox cloud gaming with a DualSense 5. Like, this seems so weird,
Hmm.
but you could do it. You'll be able to do it.
All right. Yeah, but yeah, that is crazy that you don't even need a subscription. I mean, something for me to keep in mind if I'm sitting in my loft. If I do get the newer one, but if we do get the newer one, we may just put it outside or something. I don't know. So I'd have to talk about it with my wife because we recently just got our patio done. So eventually, we want to get some furniture and a TV out there. So, and it's probably going to be a Samsung because those have been like the last several TVs we've bought, except for like the small one for her little gym that we have downstairs. So,
Yeah, I'm
all
not too
right.
picky about TV brands. I just
Hmm.
want the biggest size I can get for my money. I don't
Yeah, amen
need
to
a
that.
QLED or OLED or whatever letter they're using these days. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I lost track of that. All right, so God of War. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but they say that it's been reportedly been delayed to 2023. Then I'm reading another report saying that it's coming out. It's planned for November. I'm still picking October. I forget what Matt said. I know he
I
said
don't
something
know.
a few weeks
We
ago.
got one place reporting uh pushback 2023, and then another place say it's definitely coming out in November. I don't
I
know who to
mean,
believe.
yeah, I mean, Sony's been quiet on the thing, so I mean, I don't think they want to use
And they
this
don't have
time.
an event.
Yeah, I mean, they already had their state of play, so I mean, they would just have to be a press release. Hey, this is getting delayed to 2023, and just a bunch of pissed off people. I don't think they're gonna wait for their next state of play to come out. But I mean, we just have to wait and see on what Sony does.
They
Man, I
probably
hope it doesn't get
do.
delayed. I really hope it doesn't.
I hope it doesn't get delayed either because I am actually looking forward to it. I'm not sure maybe if do I want to wait for it to get a PS5 before I play it? I'm kind of picky like that. I can wait. Um, but I for well, God, whatever we're calling it these days. The story and everything was so good. Like I had to, but I can wait. But if it doesn't come out this year, what does Sony have coming out?
If it does not come out this year,
What does Sony have coming out? What is their big game? Starfield got pushed back. So what does Microsoft have really?
Yeah, I mean,
that was their that.
That reminds me. Matt thinks that Starfield was going to come out November 11th, 2022. Yeah, he thinks that that it's going to come out in November. Yeah, that day, the old Starfield day.
But
so
it got pushed back though. Oh, you think? No,
yeah, well, that
you God of War.
Yeah, God of War. He thinks that it's going to take its place, and I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, I mean, if it doesn't come out, yeah, you're right. What do they have? I mean, I can look at the list here of what they have coming out.
I don't. Let's see.
They got Stray coming out in July.
No, that's not a big. That's not a system seller.
Yeah, I'm getting Stray. I mean, you should too. You're right.
Cat?
Don't be a cat hater now.
I'm not a cat hater. I just don't need to play an entire game as a cat. It's a little strange. I don't really know what they have. Sony and Microsoft have anything that's like, yep, that's a major release for the holiday season of 2022.
When do you think this game is coming out?
I think it comes out this year.
And sometime this year.
I bet you what's holding them back is the frickin' PS4 version.
And if they come out and say, "Hey, we're not going to do a PS4 version," yeah, because at this point, I think it's at the point now where it's
too late for that.
Yeah, I mean, I know some other developers, like with Gotham Knights, for example. That's the first game that comes to the top of my head. That they're not doing a PS4 version, but they just, if it's coming from your first party studio, that's not going to be a good look. And the thing is, they can't sell enough PS5s that a lot of people,
What you have to do is probably the optimization to get it to run at a stable 30 frames is what would kill the games on the previous console generation. I think that's really what it is. I don't think Sony is already in a lot of gamers, they don't like them for whatever because of the whole Horizon thing.
Yeah.
And they got to pay extra, but you don't got to pay extra. I don't know. I don't really see anything that's coming out that's like, yep, here's the big first party title for anybody other than, Pokemon is Pokemon, That doesn't really count. It's not really, people buy Pokemon. I wouldn't call it like their big holiday release. It's just Pokemon. It's in its own world.
It seems like they've been putting out Pokemon games every year now, so it's like
pretty much. It's either one type of Pokemon. This is a full Pokemon game, I guess. I don't know enough about them, but if God of War does not come out, Sony needs something else.
Yeah, they're gonna have to do something. Otherwise, it's gonna be another flooded third party market like last year. So, but we'll see. I hope this game does come out. We'll just have to wait and see. Xbox is already in a lot of trouble, with Starfield and Redfall not coming out. So
right. So maybe they'll take that opportunity to push it back. They're like, well, we don't have to compete against a massive Bethesda game, so why push it? And it might not be as good as it can. It doesn't matter when it comes out. It's the kind of game that's going to sell tons whenever it comes out.
Yeah.
Right. It's just give us something, Sony. Something.
All right. Well, they have been giving us this. Well, you can only get it on Sony console so far. But our last bit of gaming call-out news before we get into our main discussion. Square Enix is hosting a Final Fantasy VII stream next week to celebrate the game's 25th anniversary. And a lot of fans are hoping to see the Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2, but I haven't heard any sign that they would be showing it. You can watch it on YouTube, Twitch, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern on June 16th, 11 p.m. in the UK, or June 17th at 9 a.m., which is AED, which is Australian Eastern Daylight Time, I believe. So,
But what
um,
I mean, I did. Did you play the first part of the remake? How much of the
no,
game is it?
I have not played the remake. So yeah, that you'd have to ask finance or someone who's played it. So, but
Right.
I mean, me personally, I kind of just want to buy the game for my Switch and just play it on there, just the old game, not the new one. But I mean, not
I
saying that.
still think it's overrated to this day. Not saying it's a bad game. Don't get me wrong, but it
Yeah,
is an
watch it.
overrated game. I'm
I
not
mean,
saying it's bad, and I get it. It was a lot of people's first style of RPG game that they played. Predominantly, a lot of
mm,
people's first. But to compare it, it
the
doesn't hold
six.
up. Yeah, to compare it to Six or Chrono Trigger, it doesn't hold up simply because the graphics are terrible. That
Yeah,
old first gen PlayStation
yeah,
1 stuff,
it's pretty
you can't
bad.
play those games anymore.
You can play some of them, like maybe like the ones that are so side scrolls. You can probably get away with some of those. Maybe some of the racing games, but like a lot of the ones that were trying to do like 3D before the N64 came out, a lot of those games were just like you
No,
either got to remake it, or just give it to a studio to just make it look better because it's just like some of that stuff is just really tough to look at.
it's
That's a very
rough.
good
I mean,
point.
it's really rough. Nobody's going. I mean, there is that trend right now where people are like making ugly looking games, horror games,
Hmm.
that like kind of look crappy intentionally, like that style. I've seen that as like a big trend lately, but people want that 16-bit era of that pixel art, those pixel art games. That's what people love. They keep going back to that. Nobody's going back to ugly first gen PS1 games. And the fact that it's taken this long to remake this game is kind of ridiculous to me. And they split it into more than one game. Just what is going
Yeah,
on?
it should have only been one game if you ask me, but I don't know. The next Final Fantasy game I plan on playing is hopefully Final Fantasy 16. I don't. I'm not gonna
I have not played a Final Fantasy game since 10.
10. I have 10 and 10 2 remake for the PS4. So
The
whenever
11 was online. It was an MMO, and I don't do MMOs. Final Fantasy 12 was I don't even remember.
last one I played was 13 2. 13 was a good one. 13 2, however, not so much. It was like the monsters are your friends. Like you train them to fight. And I'm like, what is this, Pokemon? Yeah, I'm good.
Why can't they just make like a give me a perfectly we can do it now. Just give me a high definition 2D Final Fantasy. I would play the hell out of that.
Yeah,
And
I
also
mean,
they changed the battle system to a more real time thing, right?
yeah, yeah.
That's what I don't like.
They did that with 13. Well, 13 they had it perfect. 4
I am slow when it comes to thinking about what I want to do, and I want the old school
turn
turn
base.
based battles. That's why I also don't like real time strategy games.
I got you. I got
That's
you.
just me. That's just me. I get it. It's like Civilization. Give me them turn based strategies over the real time strategies.
All right. So with that being said, we're gonna go into our main topics for the week, and we're gonna run down the Summer Game Fest 2022 announcements so far. So I guess we'll start with the main showcase. And how do you want
They
me to
should
do
have
it? You
just
just
called
want
it. Yeah, you could go through the whole thing, but they should have called it Space Game Fest for like the first 30 minutes. It was all games in space.
Yeah, some of those games look pretty good. Others of them kind of look like trash, but we'll get into that.
It was like everything's Dead Space again. I'm like, what? But no actual Dead Space. But these games, there was two games that looked exactly like Dead Space.
All right, first game here on this list, Last of Us Remake Part 1 coming out to the PS5 for $70. Wasn't too happy about that. Last of Us multiplayer game has a story, and pretty much all they showed us was a picture. Street Fighter 6, we see the return of Guile. That should be a plus for Street Fighter fans.
But isn't that
Al-
like standard? Like he's always in Street Fighter.
yeah, well, he wasn't in that one that Sony put out last week in their state of play. So, I mean, I don't know. Aliens Dark Descent is coming. That's one of the space games we saw. First look at the HBO series, The Last of Us. Let's see, the Callisto Protocol. This was
That's
another one of the.
It looks exactly. I thought it was Dead Space.
Yeah, this doesn't look very interesting to me at all. Just being honest. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Get some gameplay demo with that. I'm probably not gonna pick it up, but I mean, at least
I
they.
might. I don't know.
We'll see. Layers of Fear, um, made in Unreal 5 engine. Marvel's Midnight Suns trailer reveal Spider-Man and a release date. October 7th, and I'm not really too interested in this game, just being honest with you. Gotham Knights, Nightwing gameplay trailer. I like that. I like that a lot. Oh, one of Oh, I'm excited about this one. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Casey Jones is the final player.
Yeah.
Yeah, Casey Jones is the final character, and new six-player mode, and we got a release date for next week, which we'll be talking more about, definitely toward the end of the show. But it's coming sooner than you think, people. Saint Row gets the Boss Factory, lets you create your custom characters before the game arrives. Cuphead, the delicious last course gameplay it shows, and then you also see Chalice in action, so that's pretty good. The stylish card base shooter Neon White gets a June 16th release date. And I'm sure you heard about the rumors and all that stuff with the potential Nintendo Direct leak. I don't think this was planned to be shown, but I think Jeff Keighley helped the developers out at the last minute there. Humankind coming to consoles, and then new DLC announced. Flashback 2. This looked a little interesting. The
Yeah, I
long-awaited
kind of
sequel to
liked
the
that one. That
yeah
was a bit of a surprise.
yeah
The
all the
graphical
way
style was really cool.
yeah sequel to the 1992 sci-fi platformer. I don't know why they waited so long, but I mean, I guess they
Who
did 30
knows?
years. Witchfire makes a return after being announced at the 2017 Game Awards. Yeah, that's why I don't know. That's why I think Game Award announcements are overrated at times. Fort Solid Stars, The Last of Us, Troy Baker, and Red Dead Redemption 2's Roger Clark.
Yeah,
Whatever.
but still don't really know what kind of game it is. Again, I looked
Yeah,
at like another Dead Space.
yeah, I don't understand it either. Routine is a horror game. See, horror or space, with a terrifying cast of robots. Routine. So,
That one's kind of out now already, but they're
hmm.
redoing it for like a full release.
Let's see. Devs announce, ex Blizzard devs announced Stormgate, a new post-apocalypse RTS.
A free to
Oh,
play RTS.
yes. Oh, one of your favorites, the simulator game, Goat Simulator 3.
Oh, not my favorite, but my kid loves Goat Simulator.
I didn't even know there was a Goat Simulator 2, yet alone.
There isn't. There is not a goat. That's the joke. I just skipped right over it.
Yeah, they just went right into it. Warhammer 40K Dark Tide extended gameplay trailer. Not a real Warhammer fan, but if you
No,
are
but
into
you know
that,
what? It's gonna be on Game Pass, so day one.
yeah, yeah, check it out. High Water reveal trailer. That game was kind of weird to me,
It looks
but
interesting. I need more somebody playing it. I think.
all right. One Piece Odyssey trailer reveals. Let's see,
If you
more
like One
Monkey
Piece,
D.
you like One Piece. You know.
Yeah. Genshin Impact developer Hoyo Verse showcase Honkai, Star Rail, and Zenless Zone Zero.
Yeah, I definitely tuned out at this point. I was like, "What is this? Not for me."
Nightingale gets a longer gameplay look at Summer Game Fest. Nightingale. Did you ever play that series?
Is it a series? I didn't even know
Or
that.
if it
It's
is,
a survival game. I don't. do survival too much.
Yeah, a lot of survival stuff at this.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, yeah. Metal Hellsinger is a music-based rhythm shooter with music from heavy metal legends.
I like the idea
Next,
there, but I'm not sure about the execution.
Warframe's new open-world expansion, the Deviri Paradox, gets a new trailer.
I am not a
Uh,
Warframe guy, so that didn't do anything for me.
all right, and this game looks very interesting. I think you'll like this one. American Arcadia.
Yes, I did like the look of it, but nobody has a nose. That was throwing me off. They don't have noses.
You would be the only one that says,
I
"I like this
know.
game. I think it's perfect, but where's the nose?"
I can't get over it. It looks like that episode of Futurama where Fry gets his nose taken because it's his human horn. And that's all I can think about. That's the only thing in my head. I know, I'm very strange. But I probably will play it anyway, but just the
It
lack of
it, it
noses
look
threw me off.
yeah, looks good though. Kind of reminds me of not so much the Truman Show, but like I don't know if you ever did your history on the theme park Epcot over at Disney World. It seems like that's what Walt Disney wanted to be, how he wanted Epcot to be. I guess the experimental prototype city of
Of
tomorrow. I think that's
tomorrow, yes.
yeah.
It's supposed to be
Yeah,
a
I
whole
think
city
yeah,
actually living, not a theme park.
yeah, I mean, I think that's how he wanted Epcot to be, but I could be wrong. I don't know. It's just that it just reminded me of Epcot when I saw it, but I do that did look interesting. So
So
that's
I
what they
actually,
announced at
yeah, I had to go back, and Guile was actually not in the main roster of 5. That's why I guess it's a big deal
yeah, it is
to
a big
to
deal. Yeah.
to come out. I had no idea. It's not on Xbox, and I'm not that big of a fighting fan to play it. But this one's coming out on Xbox, right?
It should be.
Allegedly.
Yeah, it should be. I mean, I know it was announced through Sony State of Play, but I'm pretty sure it's a third party. It's through
Yeah.
Capcom. I don't see why Capcom wouldn't put it on Xbox.
Well, I mean, Sony paid for some of the development of 5. Oh, and by the way, Last of Us Remake Part 1 is coming out this year. But if Sony puts all of their eggs in that one basket of a remake of an 8-year-old game to be their big holiday release, that's not the ideal situation to be in. And then there's something that I don't understand. Do people really play the Last of Us multiplayer?
I mean, I don't know. I didn't play. I mean, and even though I'm a Sony guy, I had the PS3,
It's
PS4. I haven't played The Last of Us, so
it just reminds me of when Uncharted 2 came out and it had multiplayer, and they're like, "Oh yeah, a lot of people asked for like a multiplayer," and I'm like, "Is anybody playing multiplayer Uncharted 2?" But they kept putting multiplayer in.
I don't know. So
I just would not play Uncharted online. It's a single player game, story based. Leave the multiplayer to the multiplayer games.
yeah. So I do have one question for you, Mark.
Yeah,
Gotham Knights. Are you going to get that game? Is it?
probably. It's a co-op game, right? I believe.
Yeah.
Um, Cuphead, the DLC. I'll probably end up getting that too.
Yeah. I need to beat the
Gotham
first
Knights
one.
is they Gotham. I actually beat all the bosses. They're really really hard, but it was like one of those like yes, this is one of my if I had like
Oh,
a thing to put on my top games beaten, that would be one of them.
yeah. Cuphead is just complicated. I mean, I have a. I'm at the last world for Cuphead, so I mean, it's just kind of maybe
Oh,
motivating
it's
me a
hard.
little bit. Just
It's
yeah, I'm in the
hard.
last
Don't
world.
get me
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah. I mean, whoever's gotten even to the second world, it's just good job. Like,
Gotham Knights. Yeah, Gotham Knights looks great, and I like a good Gotham, and it's Batman without Batman, and it just I'm very into that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm probably gonna play it. Am I gonna get it day one? I'm not sure. Um,
I
I
think it's a
I almost
day
think
one
it's gonna
pickup for
get
me.
delayed again, but
Well,
maybe it won't.
they already dropped the last gen versions of it, so there's really no reason to. Otherwise, they probably would delay it again, or they could just do the PS4 and Xbox One version later. I guess I don't know, but
Yeah,
it's
I don't know. Is a 2-player cooperative multiplayer mode? Yeah, that'd be fun.
yeah.
It's been a while since a Batman. What did Arkham Knight come out? Man, I feel like a long time ago. 2015.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, 2015, 2016. I want to say it's been a bit. It's been a minute. Saints Row. Are you getting that one?
I know you're a big Saints Row guy. Um, maybe I thought before this Boss Factory trailer, I thought they were going more serious, like the first one was a
Mm,
little bit more serious. But now it seems like they're leaning a lot towards the silly, and that's fine. If it's
yeah,
silly,
it's
I'm probably actually more inclined to buy it.
well. I think if they go too serious, I don't think they want the GTA comparisons. And just another thing, well, I know some people are probably wondering why you want to reboot it then. And I really thought about it. I don't know if you played Saints Row 4. It just got
Uh,
too wacky. It just got too wacky.
is that the one where it's like in the video game world and you can fly, right?
Yeah, you got superpowers.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, it got too wacky. So they had to kind of come back to earth a little bit with it. So it's like they're giving you all these stuff. And it looks like a lot of the stuff too. If you watch the trailers from the previous games, like you can even be like Johnny
It
Gat
can
from what I
have a
saw.
serious story with like silly add-ons, you know,
Yeah,
like
I think
you
that's
make
what
your
they're trying
guy
to do.
look silly, and that's
Yeah,
fine. It's a video game. Who cares?
yeah. So I mean, hopefully, it looks like it's going to be a hit. I mean, I hope it doesn't get delayed anymore, but I mean, I don't think it will, especially with everything that's been announced and all that good stuff. So, we'll just have to wait and see. What's
I mean,
another one?
do you trust the developers? Do you trust Volition?
Yeah, I trust them. I
I
mean,
mean,
I wasn't.
they haven't really. They've been working on this game for like 5 years,
Yeah, I mean, I know
probably even longer.
I didn't really like their last game. What was it? Agents of Mayhem. It was okay. It wasn't
Yeah,
great.
I think they were going for like a specific thing to try and get. I think they were going to like try to get like we're gonna want to do it like a more kid friendly style of game.
Yeah, it was
And
all
it was
right.
like people are like, not really. I don't think people want that kind of thing,
Yeah,
unless it has like a specific license attached to it,
yeah, perhaps. And then what?
like a Simpsons hit and run. Give me another one of
Yeah,
those.
yeah. Well, it wasn't like that at all. Just, I mean, the characters were good, but I mean, just for the most part, the gameplay, the point, it was, yeah.
The Flashback 2 gameplay really caught me off guard. I was like, really? Do we need another flashback? But the way the game looks is just awesome.
Mhm. Yeah,
Uh, that was probably the biggest surprise. But I've never played the first one. Do I need to play the first one?
I didn't play the first one either. No, so I
I,
mean, I probably should go back and play the first one. You can probably just get it on an emulator or something, unless it's. Do they sell it on like one of the stores or anything?
I don't know. I don't know. Is it going to come together? I, to
Yeah,
me, it was
that's a
like, okay, nice, but we're going to play the first one. In 30 years, that's a long time.
yeah,
It's just
it is.
the gameplay itself, it just looks cool. And I was like, oh, the return.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what it was. I'm like, how iconic could it be if I didn't even know what?
You didn't even know what it was. I mean, it is a
I
weird
didn't even,
thing.
and I don't know games. I was like, what game? Iconic. What is this? It didn't, nothing was like, I was like, oh, I know what that is. Shadowrun to me is more iconic than Flashback. Maybe
Really?
because there's more Shadowrun games.
All right.
I think because there's more of them.
More of them. Okay.
Something to me, and that looks like an X right there.
It's
Um,
coming to
that
Switch
little
too, so
thing looks like an Xbox Series. But
yeah.
there was like one part on the game where it looks like it's moving. Let me see if I can find it
Hmm.
again. Like right here. Like, is it gonna be like that kind of look where it's kind of moves but being 2D but moves within a 3D world? Like that just looked cool to me. That's just my 2 cents.
Well,
I don't know.
everyone's entitled
I
to their
need to see
opinion.
more about it.
Yeah, well,
But
everyone's entitled to
Summer
their
Game
opinion.
Fest, right? Summer Game Fest was not the only show.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. Apparently, they had more. So Devolver Digital, hey, they had their summer showcase. We're gonna go down the list of games, but they announced Cult of the Lamb, Angerfoot, Card Shark, which we saw at the last Nintendo Direct, I believe. Plucky Squire, that looks good. Plucky Squire actually does look good. And then Skate Story, I don't know if we need another skateboarding game. That's just me. I mean, there's
Why
already
not?
Ollie Ollie.
Why
There's
not?
already there's
We're
already
all
Ollie Ollie World.
skateboarding.
There's already Ollie Ollie World. There's Tony Hawk 1 and 2 that just recently got remastered, and you can get that on everything. So I don't know, but
The
maybe I'm just being a hater.
angry Angerfoot looks ridiculous. I mean, it's a game where you go around and shoot and kick things in like this cartoon world.
But
It's ridiculous, and you can like apparently kick both feet at the same time.
yeah,
How does that work in a
I don't
first
know.
person view? It just works. Just works, I guess. I don't know.
Uh,
It's only coming out to PC though, so how am I going to play it?
Card Shark. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. It's just what is it trying to be? Is it just a card game?
I guess
I don't know. The graphics are.
well, apparently it's
It
already
looks
out
like a.
already.
Is it? Oh, it is
Yeah,
out. Look at that. I don't know. I'd have to actually watch some actual gameplay footage of it. It just looks strange.
yeah. It doesn't. I mean, it looked okay. I mean, when I saw the trailer for it during that Nintendo Direct, that Nindies Direct or whatever, it looked like okay, it looks interesting. Like I guess you're like a street hustler trying to like, hey, find the jack, and then just I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't know. They had a very short showcase. It's only like 5 games, but Devolver Digital has put out bigger games over the years. They are an indie game publisher,
Hmm.
um, but they are the publisher of Ali Ali, and they were the publisher of like Fall Guys. They have some bigger games coming out. Like their Trek to Yomi was a Devolver game. They
I
have some
played that
other
on Game
games that are
Pass. It was
coming
all
out,
right.
uh, like the Talos Principle 2.
What do you think of Plucky Squire? That was probably the best game I saw from them.
Probably. It looks cool. I'm
Yeah, it looks
not sure how
interesting.
it's going
Like
to
how you're in a
play.
book, and then like you jump out of the book, and then all of a sudden it's like a whole 3D.
Yeah.
I kind of want to play it, quite frankly, but it's not coming until 2023. I wish that was out
It's not
already, but
right. But at least that's coming out on everything. That's probably the
yeah.
most interesting because it's really unique and the graphics are great. The 2D graphics are great. And then it goes to 3D, and then the 3D graphics are a great representation of what they would look like in a 3D world. Like it looks super interesting. I don't know who's making this game. Does it say who's making it? All possible futures. I don't know if I've ever heard of anything that they've done before.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, it's
Ex Pokemon designer. Okay,
mm,
that's the first game that they've put out.
all right.
I don't know.
They weren't the only ones that did something. Apparently Netflix. Netflix. What is it? Geek Week. Day
Just
five
because they have
showcase.
games, it's not just movies; it's games too.
Yeah, so we'll go through what they announced. Dragon Age Absolution. What else? And the animation style of that kind of. I don't know if you watch Vox Machina. Kind of reminds me a little bit of that with the animation style. But uh, let's see. What else did they have?
They had a Queen's Gambit game,
Yeah.
like a
Uh,
chess game, a Shadow
oh,
and Bone RPG.
Tekken Bloodline.
Yeah,
Uh,
Too Hot to Handle the game.
Too hot to handle. New episodes of the Cuphead show. I don't know if you've seen the Cuphead
I've never
show.
watched it. I'm sure it's probably fine. I've never
I've
watched it
seen
though.
two episodes. It's funny.
Is it funny for adults or?
It's not. I wouldn't say it's kid. I guess it's a little kid friendly. It's not. It's not like South Park. It's just funny.
No,
It's
I know. It's just
just.
the game is not really for kids,
Yeah.
even though it
Yeah.
looks like for kids. And then there's a Sonic Prime
Oh, it's not Prime. Oh,
show.
that looks pretty good actually. I would watch that.
Maybe I don't know.
What's your
Do
favorite
we
Sonic
need another
series?
Sonic game?
Well, yes, for this generation, there's a bunch of kids out there who
Like
will.
show? I never really watched any of the Sonic shows other than the original voiced by Urkel.
Oh yeah, that one.
That's the only one I
Yeah,
really remember, and I couldn't even tell you like what happened in any specific
yeah.
episode.
I just one of them. I think it was the one voiced by Urkel. I'd watch like before going to school. Just remember the
Yeah,
song.
that's because it was on. I
He's the
remember the Mario
fastest
cartoon.
thing alive. Yeah, that one. But and then Sonic X, which Sonic X was actually pretty good, but I was a little older at that time, and was I was kind of growing out of my Saturday morning phase during
Yeah,
that time. So it's like, yeah, I mean, it's on Netflix now. I could watch it, but it's just I don't have time. But I mean, I
I
could
don't know.
though.
My kid got into the old Mario cartoons for a while,
Mm.
so that was rewatching that was a little bit more fun. I think.
Yeah, I mean, it
Anyway,
depends if they. Well, I think Sonic Prime could be a good show if they do it right. I mean, they have some of the Sonic Adventure characters like Big the Cat and Froggy, so it's like
mhm.
you can't go wrong if they do it right. At
I don't know. It's just
least,
weird to have Netflix announcing all these different games. So they don't really strike me as a game company, but they do have games on the app. If you open it up, there are games on there.
Castlevania Nocturne. What do you think of that?
I've tried watching the Castlevania anime. Not really for me.
Hmm.
I'm not really
Yeah,
an anime guy, but that's not to say that it's bad. I tried. It was like so serious. Like it took itself so seriously, and like I just can't. It's Castlevania. How serious? Like I get it, but like it was like so serious, and I'm like, all right, let's come on now.
yeah. Let's see. What else do we got? Lord of the Rings Return to. Oh, actually, before.
Well, that's on the Epic
Yeah, Epic
Games.
Games Summer Showcase. I forgot to introduce it. So yeah, Lord of the Rings Return to Moria. What else was announced? Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed.
They
That's a
showed
game
some
I'm
more of
interested.
that.
Yeah.
The
PC
PC
building.
building simulator. Yes, more simulator games. You know, I love me a good simulator.
I
I
think
just think it's weird.
Matt would be all over this. He really would.
I
PC
it's in
building
open
simulator
beta
too.
right now. I don't know. It's like build your PC that you can't afford to build. You know,
Uh, Shoulders of Giants. Goat Simulator 3, which we already talked about. Gigabash. Uh,
the
Tachia, I
four
think that's
player
like,
arena brawl. I don't know.
yeah,
Most of
Tachia,
these games, I don't know.
Ramen,
Ramen. That's just a weird
Splitgate,
name, right?
Rocket
Ramen.
League Season 7, Fall Guys Season 1, which is coming to everything. We know that. I think for me, it would have to be Ghostbusters. I do want to see a little bit more. I'm just interested in seeing what they bring next to the Ghostbuster franchise. I'd like the
Well, they
how.
did also announce a
Mhm.
new animated show coming to Netflix, an animated movie, and a new live action movie.
Really? Okay.
Yes. So a lot of Ghostbusters announcements
Yeah.
in
So,
the
but
last week.
yeah, and then I know that this new game it's gonna have what's his name, Ernie Hudson and Dan Aykroyd voice their original characters,
Hmm. It should
and
be good,
yeah, so it should be
hopefully.
good. I mean, yeah, so
So,
so I
and then the
mean,
last Tribeca Games spotlight,
yes,
which I didn't even
Tribeca.
know they had.
Yeah, that came on yesterday. This was a little boring to me when I was watching it, but pretty
Well, a
much,
lot of the things like already been announced.
yeah. So it's like, what is it? The Thirsty Suitors, which was like a dating like RPG kind of game. The
That's
Cub,
the that was the one that looked like the most interesting, but
the
I don't
Cub.
think I'll play it.
As Dusk Falls, Vinba, A Plague Tale, Requiem, Cuphead, Delicious Last Course, of course, Oxenfree 2, Lost Signals, Immortality, and American Arcadia, which we already know about. So, yeah, the Cub looked pretty interesting. Um, Thirsty
Yeah,
Suitors looked all right. I mean, it's like a dating game. I wouldn't want to drop any money on that
yeah.
though. That's just me.
Immortality is a full motion video game by
Mm,
the people who did Her Story and Telling Lies. So if you're into those, they're making another one. But yeah, I don't know. This just seemed like they wanted to throw games out there. I don't know. Tribeca Games is weird to me to
yeah,
put
just
out its own little showcase because the big one is tomorrow.
yeah,
The and that
yeah.
is The
Xbox and
Xbox and Bethesda Game Showcase.
yeah. So, all right. So far, before we go into what's coming tomorrow and next week, do you like what you've seen so far? Do you think Summer Game Fest is E3's replacement, or do you think we need E3 because of what we've seen so far and how it's been organized and all that stuff?
E3 just seems a little bit more together
Hmm.
with their things, and they know how to. Well, generally, most of the big things are individual game shows anyway.
Yeah.
Your Xbox, your Sony, your Nintendo, your EA, your Activision. They're usually the big ones. Um, we might see the return of that next year. I don't know. E3 generally has what usually happens is they're showing off all these games, and it's more than just video. People are playing games. And you get a lot more articles about them.
Yeah. I think for me, it would just be nice to see everyone's participation in it. I think because it's like some of these like showcases, like they kind of weren't part of it, but I guess they are part of it because it's that time of year, June. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. But I mean, I feel like Jeff Keighley is doing the best he can with it. It's not going to be perfect. I mean, it's going to take some, a little bit of work, but maybe if we can combine what he's doing with E3 coming back, maybe we can see something bigger. Like a virtual event and something like in
Right,
person.
like
But
man, if they held something like that with
mm,
with the Oculus in a
yeah,
virtual world where the trailers were going, like that would be awesome.
yeah.
I might actually use it to play, to watch it rather than just play games on it. Like, that'd be pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we just have to. I mean, I just want to see, who can do the best job. But now people are saying, "Oh, we don't want to be in person." But like, if those are the same people complaining about what Jeff Keighley's doing, then it's like, okay, what do you want?
Right.
Like what do you want? Like, come on, like, So just simple things like that. All right, but to come next week, predictions: Xbox and Bethesda game showcase.
Well,
They're
they're
talking
gonna
about games.
whatever big release they've got coming out. It's got to be it. They're gonna have to announce something for this holiday season.
You think they have to knock it out of the park with whatever
Uh,
they announce?
I don't know.
All
I
right,
don't know
I
what
think
else they've
I
got.
think I think
There's at least
yeah.
one surprise that's gonna come out. At least one.
All right. I mean, they got to do something because, and it has to be more than just some Halo DLC or whatever. Because right now, with Starfield and Redfall getting pushed back, it's yeah,
Right. So what are we thinking?
yeah.
Fable, Perfect Dark, maybe
Golden
Senua's
Eye.
Saga, GoldenEye. I don't know. I never really liked GoldenEye. I'm not a big GoldenEye guy. Don't get me started on that one. Playing a first person shooter on the 64 is trash.
It was the first of its kind, man. You can't you stop being a hater, man.
First of its kind, what on a console?
I
Just
guess
because,
yeah. First
I
yeah.
mean, just because it's the first thing on a console doesn't mean I have to automatically like it.
It
Street
was
Fighter.
fun.
Nobody talks about Street Fighter One. Okay, it sucks.
Well, I mean, I guess it's coming to later this month to Capcom Arcade Stadium 2. I don't
Have
know
you
if you
ever
plan on
played Street Fighter One? It's terrible.
it didn't. I saw previews of it because yeah, it didn't look
I
very
played
good.
it at some random laundromat when I was little had it, and I remember playing it. And after two had come out, I'm like, you could never get the special moves to ever work. Nothing ever worked. I'm like, it's a fighting
I
game,
think
damn it.
wasn't
It's the
it
most important thing.
wasn't it Capcom's first crack at a real fighting game? I don't know,
It was
but
yeah, it was. And then
so
two
I mean,
came out, and everybody's like, you're
and
making a
blew everything
sequel
out the
to
water.
yeah.
We didn't even get Street Fighter 3. It took years because like Street Fighter 2 this, Street Fighter 2 that. You know,
They had no problem pumping out Mega Man, but when it came to Street Fighter, they couldn't just make three. Like, they couldn't count to three.
Oh yeah, speaking of well, since we're talking about Capcom now, speaking of them, let's just go to them. I guess are we gonna get some more Street Fighter 6 info?
Probably they'll probably announce at least one more fighter coming to the base game. And I don't know. Are they gonna just keep coming out with collections? Are they gonna
Yeah,
announce a new Resident Evil? The
yeah,
big thing is
something.
now the Resident Evil 4 remake.
Yeah,
So like I don't know why we
yeah,
need a 4 remake, but okay.
yeah. That was announced at Sony State of Play, so I think they will get into a little bit more of that.
They probably will
Monster Hunter,
announce,
something with
yeah,
Monster Hunter
Monster
maybe.
Hunter. They're very big on VR now because Resident Evil was huge on VR. Like Resident Evil 4 did monster on the Oculus. It was huge.
Yeah.
So
So
you might see a good bit more of them coming into the VR world. Like, okay, now we can do games we've already done and put it back out and make a nice killing on them. But it's not they just like threw it on there. It works.
mhm.
But they might lean into that a little bit more. I'm hoping.
Yeah, they're probably, and then Capcom will probably also talk about their arcade stadium 2. Just with Street Fighter 1 and a bunch of other crappy games that they didn't release on the first arcade stadium, which is actually really good, by the way. The first one, I mean, you can get the games for like $3.99 a pop, or you can just pay $40 for the whole thing, which is what I did. And
It's
just
mostly 2D shooters though.
2D shooters.
Not
Maybe a,
really my jam. Give me their
yeah,
2D fighters.
yes,
And
yes, yes.
now we're talking.
Yeah, for me, it'd have to be more beat 'em ups, and Capcom has a lot of those.
Yes.
But then you
Knights
could
of the
always, but
Round and King of
yeah,
Dragons.
King
Yeah,
of
give me
Dragons was
those.
good. Yeah.
Give me those
But
games.
Captain Commando, yeah, but you could already get that on the Capcom beat 'em up collection.
So too tall. There's so many Capcom collections. You don't even know what the hell to get.
Yeah, it's a lot. So I actually do have the Capcom beat 'em up collection, so that's a good one. So if you're looking for some good beat 'em
I
ups,
think I have something on my Switch. I don't know what it is, but I have something on there. It was
yeah.
like real cheap one day. I just bought it.
Something else coming next week, the PC gaming show. Now you and I aren't the biggest when it comes to PC. I probably should be, since I got that 3800
Yeah,
running in my
most
V8
of those
rig. But
games will probably not just be PC.
yeah, maybe, yeah. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. But it's always interesting to see what they have at their show. And then last but not least, it's just only rumored, but I think it's happening. Do you think there's going to be a Nintendo Direct next week?
Uh, Knowing Nintendo, it'll probably be the week after.
Yeah, I mean, they're unpredictable. I know, and according to that subreddit, it looks like that game Neon White, I guess it leaked or something like that, because I think that was supposed to be part of the Direct.
When
Well,
was
to
the
whoever.
last Direct?
They had a Nindies Direct, but I think the last one had to be, I want to say March, maybe.
That's a while. They don't usually go. Let's see. The last Nintendo February 9th
Okay.
was the last one. Before that, October 15th. So they don't
Hmm.
usually go this far in between Nintendo Directs.
Unless you count Nindy. Yeah, Nindies doesn't count, so.
No, I'm talking like they called it Indie World. I'm talking
Yeah.
just what they designate as a Nintendo Direct because they've had other Pokemon Presents or Smash Brothers Presents ones, but they had a Nintendo Direct. If the timeline fits, so last February, 2021, they had one, and then they had one in June. They did the
Hmm.
same thing this year. They had one in February. Are they going to have one in June? Probably. But they don't announce it more than like what 2 days before. 2 days, if that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not gonna be like, oh, today we're next week we're gonna do our Nintendo. Like, no, they don't do that.
It's
But
like, hey,
unless it's
by the
like,
way,
yeah,
we're doing this. We're doing this. By
next
the way.
week,
Oh yeah.
next
Okay.
Friday. Like, no, no, that's. And usually, like when they do it around E3 time, people know about it because that's when they do it. I mean, that's how they are. So
Right.
they'll announce it then. But usually, like any other times, usually like a couple days before. Like we'll probably see something on Monday. Oh, Wednesday, Thursday is going to be the direct. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
People will tune in, watch, be disappointed, and we'll talk about it on this podcast next week. So, all right.
So we'll see.
All right, the release rundown. It's not very much this week, but it's funny because all the games are coming out on the same day. Neon White coming June 16th to the Switch and the PC. Also coming out that day, Redout 2. And that's coming to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Starship Troopers, Terran Command coming to PC. and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's
Yes.
Revenge
Yes.
coming.
Game Pass. I'm gonna
Yes,
get what? I didn't hear you.
yeah,
Game
yeah,
Pass.
coming to PS4, Xbox One, and Game Pass, Switch, and the PC. If you have a Series X or S or a PS5, you can play the games using backwards compatibility. I'll let you know how that goes because I'm going to be downloading it on my PS5, the PS4 version of it anyway. So, what's a game off this list people should pick up?
What you're asking that? Like
Yeah,
that's
why
a
not?
legitimate question? Teenage
Yeah,
Mutant Ninja
so
Turtles. What is this? What are we talking about here?
all
Yes,
right.
yes,
Yes, yes,
that's the
yes.
one.
TMNT, Shredder's Revenge.
Even if you
Yeah,
don't care for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series, they're still really good games.
they're
Most of them,
relevant.
the 2D
Yes,
ones.
yeah, definitely. And then later this year, we still don't have a release date for the Cowabunga collection is coming out later this year. If you're into retro gaming, that's like a must pick up right there. Only $40 for 13 games or whatever. That's a lot. But
It
back to
makes
Shredder's
me more
Revenge.
likely to wait for that
Yeah,
one because this one is on Game Pass day one.
yeah. So
Day
I thought
one.
the Cowabunga collection would have came out first, but apparently I know it's two different developers, so Konami and Dotemu, I guess. But yeah, this is going to be good. I mean, the 6 player co-op, and like I was telling you before we came on, if you want to get down, I will pay for a Game Pass for one more month if Finance is down, Matt's down, you're down, me, a couple other guys are down. We can all get together, play that 6 player
Man,
co-op,
just
and
just trying to organize
yeah,
six between all of us is going to be like
it's gonna be a nightmare, but I think it's doable. I think it's doable. I think we can do it.
we should
And
live stream it while we're at it.
yeah, I'll definitely live stream it on my personal channels. But yeah, but I'm excited about it. But I'm getting 2 copies of the game. I'm downloading the PS4 version, and then I've pre-ordered the version for Switch at Best Buy. They also are gonna have
You just want the free personal pan pizza. Don't
that
lie.
too. Yes, that too. Yeah, yeah. Well, they're biters because they did that with the Ninja Turtles 2 arcade game back in the day with those old Pizza Hut advertisements that you saw in the game.
Yes. Yes.
That would be funny if they actually did have some Pizza Hut advertising. I don't think they do, but yeah, I'm probably not gonna use the coupon. I'll probably just save it, maybe frame it or something. But I think it's pretty cool how they did that. But yeah, I am gonna get both a digital and physical copy. Definitely for the Nintendo Switch because I gotta show the Nintendo Switch some love. So of course, how about you? You're just gonna get a Game Pass. You're not gonna pick up a physical or digital
Nah,
version of the
you know
game.
me. I'm not gonna physical. Unless I need to. I if it's on Game Pass, then no. I get the Game Pass. So you need to say. You say Game Pass in our Discord, and I get excited. It wakes me up. I'm an X. What do you want from me? I'm an Xbox gamer. I'm not a PlayStation gamer. I mean, maybe it'll come to the whatever it's coming out, right? Like, isn't it? Didn't it start launching? Whatever the
Yeah.
PlayStation Now or whatever it's called, didn't it start
Um.
in other
uh,
countries already?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, I think it's coming in here sometime next week or something. I don't know. I'm just sticking with the base. I'm not
Like,
getting all that stuff. So,
I mean,
uh,
like they could have been like, yeah, here we go, PlayStation Plus is coming.
day one
Um,
release. I mean, well, Stray's gonna be a day one release for that. So, but no one's talking about that. Stray. No, no.
Look, it takes a very special kind of person to want to play a game where you play as a cat. Okay, and Celine's
it's,
not
it's,
on
it's
right
a,
now. I feel like she'd be all about that kind of game.
Celine, if you're listening or watching, we love you. We miss you. Hopefully, you can come back on the show soon. All right.
By the way, Annapurna Interactive is having a showcase in July,
They are
and they are
okay.
yeah they. I mean, it's not around E3, which is unfortunate. They have been putting out a ton of really good games lately. Now, again, they are just a publisher like Devolver. I mean, they did 12 minutes, but I'm not going to get into that one right now. But there are other games that they put out, and that is one of their games. Stray is one of their games.
All right, cool. Yeah, well, I know Stray is coming to the PS4, PS5, and PC. So,
And Neon
uh,
White is also one of their games as well.
yeah, Neon White. Yeah, PC and Switch for Neon White. I want to I'm a little more curious about Neon White. I do want to, try to see some more gameplay on it before the 16th. But I already got my mind made up of what I'm,
Right,
playing. Yeah, so
what? 2 games, 1 week? No way.
yeah.
I don't have time to split between games right now.
Yeah. Well, it's only $25 for Shredder's Revenge. Physical obviously is going to be a little bit more, but I mean, it is what it is. All right. Before we put this episode in the books, we did get one comment. We got one comment from our other executive producer of the show, Finest Dabs, Our View Gaming. He says, "Great job, guys. Good vibes. If you're watching or listening, just want to let you know that we know why you're not with us today, and that's because he's expecting a new member of his family
Yeah,
coming
pretty
very
soon
soon."
he'll be finest dads. No more dabs. It's all dads. There you go. We change
Finest
his name right
dads.
here.
All right. I know you haven't had the baby yet, but just congratulations to you. We love you. We miss you, and I will keep the show ship running while you're out until you get back.
Yeah, don't worry. I won't ruin it too much for you. We'll just keep changing the background.
All right. For Mark, aka Mr. Madness, I'm Justin Reed, aka Too Tall for You Fool, and thank you for watching or listening to episode 91 of the Game Watch podcast. Tune in next week for another great episode. I will see you later. We're out.
Yep. Peace out.